Hello BookTube, my name is Angie and welcome to my channel, Angie Rose Nomad. How are you today? I hope you've had a lovely, fantastic week, been productive after the Christmas and New Year's times. I am a bit saddened. We have taken down the Christmas decorations. If it were up to me, I would have them up for as long as possible. But we actually have a live tree, so it was kind of starting to drilt. It was starting to drilt and it looked like a Charlie Brown tree. So garbage comes tomorrow and he'll be gone from our lives. He was such a good tree. When do you guys take down your Christmas decorations if you put them up? I'm curious to know because I want them up as long as possible, but I get vetoed, all the time. So it's quite tragic. So now the house is back to normal. Everything is, resuming its usual pace after the craziness of the holiday season. I still really need a haircut. And yeah, so I actually spent the night with my sister last night. We hung out and had some sister time, and I got back to the house today and the dogs and made a right mess of things. I don't know what their deal was. They just can't get out, so when no one's here to let them out. And yeah, that was fun times in the kingdom, let me tell you. So, what I want to do in 2019 is start trying to do Friday reads and maybe stay on track with my TBR that way. That being said, I haven't really stuck to my TBR that well starting this month, but we still have time. This is only the first week of January. There is still 3 weeks left that I can dive into the TBR I showed you guys. But yeah. I have quite a few books. I also really wanted to not stress myself out reading so much this year. Meaning I wanted to have a physical book that I was reading, I wanted to be listening to an audiobook, and I wanted to have an ebook for on the go, max. That was all I wanted. Just bear that in mind while you watch this video because that didn't work. Another thing that didn't work is that, that TBR I told you guys about, yeah. Well, I'm not only am I not sticking to my physical TBR for January, I caved today and I went to the library and I got 2 library books, and in the little bookstore in the library where they sell used books, I got 5. It's okay. It was 5 books for $6.50, so I'm not going to beat myself up. That's like a heck of a good deal. I am posting a book haul either tomorrow or the day after, so you can see books I got in December and then those 5 that I just picked up, and then I'm going to become laser focused. I know I had this goal, but now I'm really going to stick to it. So let's just get started with the physical books that I am currently in the middle of. The first one I'm going to finish this weekend, and it is The Little Shop of Found Things by Paula Braxton. I love it, you guys. I have so many thoughts about this book. It is absolutely beautiful. Paula Braxton is quickly becoming an auto-buy author for me. This is the first thing I've ever read, and honestly, the premise sounded really great. But when I got into the book, I was a little wary of kind of like the magical realism element. It's not really that strong, but I just don't really get into magical realism that well. I really didn't like the ocean at the end of the lane. I hated the Raven cycle. So yeah, I just, discovered that it wasn't for me, but Paula's writing is just phenomenal. And it did take her a minute to get into the story. She was doing the backstory a little bit, and I just wanted her to hurry up. But once I got in, it is so beautiful. So this follows a girl named Santa who has actually moved to a tiny English village with her mother Flora, and they have bought an antique shop. And little do they know that someone else is living in this antique shop, and that would be a ghost by the name of Mistress Merton, and she needs Santa's help. Santa has this ability to be able to touch things and hear their stories. I wish I remembered what it was called, but I can't for the life of me. But her and her mother are going to this antique sale at an estate, and she sees this chatelaine. And what a chatelaine is it's this belt that has different attachments on it that ladies wore, well-to-do ladies wore many years ago. And it creates the strongest sound to her that she's ever heard from anything. She has to discover this story. And Mistress Merton was actually kind of trying to lead her to the channeling because something is going to happen to her daughter. And so she needs Santa's help to fix it. But there's a little bit of a catch. You see, Mistress Merton's daughter is back in the 17th century. So Santa has to go back in time in order to save this girl and keep her own family safe in the process. It is an amazing book. I will finish it this weekend. I'm so close to the end. And yeah, I can't wait to let you guys know my final thoughts. Next up, we have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. You guys, I just want to show you something really quickly. Do you just see right there? Obviously, I failed at this one. I failed at a lot of arcs I've received. That is going to be another thing that I'm changing in 2019. I'm going to have to let go of the physical TBR to read my arcs because it's getting ridiculous and they need to be read because everyone's talking about this book. It was an amazing book, and yeah, I've had it on my shelf for quite a while, at least a year. I don't know when I got sent it, but quite some time ago. I want to say it was in March or April. That might be wrong. Yeah. So I just started this one, and it is about a woman named Evelyn Hugo who was a big-time actress in the 50s and 60s, and she obviously had 7 husbands. And then we flash forward to present day where there's this journalist named Monique Grant who's working at this magazine, and Evelyn is selling a bunch of her clothing off because her daughter has died from breast cancer, I believe. And so she's kind of trying to raise money for the charity. And they're like, oh, we want to do a piece on this. Well, Evelyn's people get in contact with Monique's magazine and say, we want Monique. And Monique is like kind of low person on the totem pole. And so her boss is just like, no, you really don't. And that's the only one that Evelyn is willing to work with. So when Monique goes to meet Evelyn, Evelyn actually tells her that she is going to give her the story of her life. And she can sell it, or when when Evelyn dies, Monique will be able to publish the story, sell it to the highest bidder, and make a lot of money. So we don't know the motivations behind why Evelyn is only going to work with Monique, but we're getting Evelyn's story, starting with, her very first husband and working through them in that order. I think I'm on her second husband right now. And yeah, it's really good so far. I don't have as many stickies in this one as I do in the Little Shop of Found Things. I was reading this on the road today with my sister, and I was kind of just reading it really for fun rather than having like a deep think about it. But I need to get better at writing down passages that I really like and things like that, especially when I read so much that I want to be able to remember things and remember why I love the books that I love, if that makes sense. Alright, next up, we have the library book, and it's called The One. This is by John Mars, and it's really shiny, sorry, I'm going to hold it down. So this is about a site that is called Match DNA, I think, where it's a dating site, but you send off your DNA and they match you with the perfect person for you, your soulmate. And what's going on in there? I am not far in this at all. I am probably on 26. So far, it's good, but it's following a different person's perspective. So it's like, I wish we could just get a core group of characters and follow it instead of jumping back from person to person. But the last chapter I read is about this couple that is getting married or just married, and they haven't taken the Match DNA test, which a lot of people are doing to find their soulmate, and their friends are kind of heckling them about that. The husband doesn't think it's a problem at all, and the wife is kind of like, well, maybe it is, maybe I want to see what's out there for me. I do believe that there's a serial killer in this story. there was a chapter that we read that a guy had just murdered a woman. So yeah. It says, but happily ever after isn't guaranteed for everyone, because even soulmates have secrets, and some are more shocking than others. And then in here, there's a little heart in blood. So we will see. This comes highly recommended from Lisa over at Books and Smiles channel, and I cannot wait to get further into this book. So the next physical book that I have, but I'm putting on hold for now, is Transcription by Kate Atkinson. I'll let you guys know more about my thoughts on this once I get further into it, and I'm sorry about this being the way that I can show you my book covers. I use iMovie to edit my videos, and there is no way to put picture in picture. If you guys use iMovie or know how to do picture in picture in iMovie, I would be extremely grateful if you would help me out. But yeah. The next book that I am listening to is called The Wife Between Us, and this is by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. Sorry, Sarah. This one is good so far. I can't remember the narrator's name, but I could swear I've heard something from her before and really liked it. I think she's doing a fantastic job. So this follows the story of Vanessa, and we get dual perspectives in the beginning of the book. So we follow Vanessa, and then we also follow a girl named Nellie. And Nellie is getting ready to marry the love of her life, Richard, and Vanessa has already been married to Richard and is trying to stop this from happening. And it's really, really interesting. So I've gotten to the point where we learn who everyone actually is, and I can't say that I'm that shocked. I do have a hunch on another big plot twist coming up, but we'll have to see if I'm right about that or not. I know Books and La really, really loved this book, so we'll see if I manage to be blown away. But right now I'm just like, okay, it's a really good story. It's got me gripped, and I want to find out what happens to these characters. But I think I know what's coming, so I don't think I will be shocked, but I'll let you guys know. Alright, so I do have 2 ebooks that I currently have on loan from the library, and the first one I am about to return it, and it is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I've already read this book, and I really liked it the first time. I just have no clue what happened. I can't really remember the main things that happened in this book. And I know that Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand really recommended it. She put it in her favorite books of 2018, and I was like, I'm going to see if they have it. I can give it a go and just kind of brush up and then read, on in the series, because I did enjoy it. But honestly, right now, I just have way too much on my plate to be picking up another book. So I'm going to put it back on my wish list of books that I want to get to, and when I have less, then I'll recheck it out. And then we do have the ebook that I'm going to keep, and that is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I have not started this yet, but I'm more inclined to be able to get lost in a mystery than in any other type of book and fly through them. So I figured this would be good for, when I'm out and about, have a couple minutes to spare. So this is about a girl named Hal, and Hal one day gets this letter in the mail saying that she's gotten this inheritance, which she knows absolutely nothing about. So she goes to see what's going on here, thinking that, I can get some money out of this. And things aren't quite adding up here. So yeah, that's really all I know about it, but I really like to go into mysteries knowing as little as possible. Makes me happiest. If I know something's coming, I'm going to be like, wow, that was so shocking. But yeah, if you read mysteries, do you like to read like that? See, I know that if I get spoiled on a book, I'm still going to read the book. I can't not read the book. I just know what's coming, and I'm flipping pages kind of idly. But yeah. And then sometimes there are books that I want to be spoiled on, and I look on the internet and there are no spoilers for the book. I'm just like, dang. So anyway, those are the books that I have been reading and will continue to read through the weekend. Let me know if you have any books that you finished in the past week. And yeah, let's chat down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to become part of the tribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.